The 1926-27 Marrowbone team is the first inductee team to the Hall of Fame. We are here with Boyd Alexander, family representative of F.E. Alexander, a member of the 1926-1927 Marrowbone team. What can you tell us about this historic team?
Well, the historic team was the first actual basketball team probably from Cumberland County, because 1926 was the first time they played basketball in Marrowbone. They practiced on an outdoor court, which was covered with gravel and sawdust. They couldn't dribble the ball, so they passed it from one player to the other as they went down the floor, which a lot of teams use now and did then too, called the fast break. They would pass it to each player and run as fast as he could down the floor, and man that was in the best position under the goal would shoot the goal. And it was known as the fast break. Some of the college teams, some of the high school teams used it, but we're sort of renowned as being the originator of the fast break. One that they practiced on an outdoor court regardless of rain, snow, or sleet, sort of like the postman. They did quit. If it snowed, they shoveled the snow off, and then hopefully it'd melt by evening recess, and then they'd go out and practice. So the weather didn't bother them. They didn't have an inside gym. If they went to play anybody else, they went to wherever somebody did have a gym. So we didn't have a gym at all. They traveled by wagon and traveled by truck. They would ride in the truck with a load of hay in the back end to sort of cushion the ride as much as they could, the tarpaulin over the top of the truck. And in the wagon, they did the same thing. They used the wagon with 6 mules in order to pull through the muddy roads and things. We didn't have blacktop and good roads back then. So if the truck got in trouble, then Bus Ballard with the wagon and team would come and pull the truck out. And if the truck couldn't make it, then Bus Ballard would take the team and the wagon and take them on to their next destination. And that's the way they got started. So the second year they actually was playing basketball was when they went to the state. And the team that they played at the state that beat them won the state tournament, won the championship. So we came close, but we didn't make it.
Can you tell us about the people on the team?
Okay, the people under the team, there was 8 members of the team. There's 7 that went to Lexington, and 7 went to Louisville, 7 went to Lexington. The 8th member I'll tell you about in a minute. The first one was Sam Alexander, Paul Strange, F.E. Alexander, Irvin Huddleston was the captain, Joe Turner, James Davis, and Irvin Wilson. And I.W. Woosley was the coach. Now in the picture, the 8th member is not pictured here, and the reason for that is that when they got to the Marrowbone Hill, they were in a wagon making their route to Cave City to get on a train. And they met a wagon that this 8th member was his mother and father, and they were moving to Tennessee. He got off the wagon with all the players, got on the wagon with his mother and daddy to go to Tennessee, and all the talking and begging and so forth, they couldn't get him to stay and go to Louisville with them. According to my dad and my uncle, if he had gone with them, there was no doubt but what they would have won the state tournament. So that's neither here nor there. They didn't win it, and he didn't go with them, but it sort of adds to the story to have the thing of him not going with them.
I want to thank Boyd Alexander for coming out and representing his team for the Hall of Fame inductee interviews. It was an honor to interview you, sir.
Thank you very much for asking me. I'm pleased to represent the 1926-27 team. I hope I did a fair job, and I hope the other descendants of this team will think I did a halfway decent job, at least, of representing the team. Thank you for asking me.
Thank you, sir. I'm here with Hall of Fame inductee Gene Norris, a.k.a. The Generator. What are your feelings about being an inductee in the first Hall of Fame class at Cumberland County High School?
Before I answer that question, first, I'd just like to thank God and thank my mom and dad. And my feelings are one of humility, to be looked at as somebody that's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, especially the first Hall of Fame. That tells me that Cumberland County is beginning to look at their athletes, the athletes that have come through here and have done good and done well. And so I'm humbled by being in this first group of inductees. And hopefully, as time goes on, there'll be more and more and more athletes from Cumberland County that'll be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
What is your most memorable moment being a Panther athlete?
Okay, my most memorable moment being a Panther athlete is when I broke the school scoring record that had been held by Coach Larry McDonald, who was my coach before I broke the record. And that record had held for 18 years. And so it really meant a lot to me to have Coach McDonald at the game when I actually broke the record. And Coach McDonald was sitting at the scores table, as a matter of fact, as I had 42 points, and I was at the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. And I just kind of looked over at him, and he was sitting at the scores table. And I hit the first free throw, and I looked at him again and smiled. I hit the second free throw and knew that I had broken his record. And but what I remember most about it is that after the game, Coach McDonald came over and shook my hand and congratulated me, and it really made me feel good because he had been my coach prior to that, and I had a great deal of respect for him. So that was one of my most memorable moments as a Cumberland County Panther. And one other thing is that I also ran track, and I went to the state track meet as the only competitor for Cumberland County, and I won the long jump, the triple jump, and placed second in the hurdles, which in doing so placed Cumberland County third overall in the state Class A division that year, which I'm not sure, but I think that's the highest Cumberland County has ever placed in a state high school track meet, which I was there by myself. So that was memorable.
Did you have any role models that were coaches, teachers, or administrators at Cumberland County that you would like to thank?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I had several coaches and teachers and administration that were role models for me while I was here at Cumberland County. But one person kind of stands out, and that was Dave Sharp. Dave Sharp was my basketball coach and football coach when I was in middle school. He was my first coach. And then he, when I graduated from 8th grade and went to high school, he moved from grade school to high school and became the high school principal. So he was with me for a long time. And I really admired him and I had a lot of respect for him. And he was always kind of a matter-of-fact kind of guy. He told you what he thought. And one of the things that he told me as an athlete was when I would be at practice or I would be doing certain things and I wouldn't be doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing. And he'd come up to me and he'd say, and he'd use the term, "Look, buddy," he'd say, "Buddy, now you can fool me and you can fool a lot of people around you, but there's one person you can't fool. You can't fool old number one." And And so I thought about that because I knew within my heart that I wasn't always giving forth the effort that I should. And so those things that he told me and taught me just kind of went with me throughout life. As a matter of fact, just a couple of nights ago, I was talking to a couple of kids at Scott County High School that are seniors that were playing basketball. And I was telling them the same thing. I was saying, you know, when you're out there on the court, always give 100% because the people in the crowd, they may not know if you're putting forth all you have, but you know in your heart whether or not you're doing what you should be doing and whether or not you're giving all you can. And so those words always stayed with me. You can fool everybody else, but you can't fool old number one.
In your opinion, what does it mean to be a Panther?
In my opinion, at that time, when I was a Cumberland County Panther, it meant when I put on my uniform or when I played the game of basketball or ran track, I did it with a sense of pride and always felt like that, you know, we were the best. You know, sometimes we would be favored as the underdog, but I always felt like that when we went on the court or went out on the track to run, that we were the best, that we had Panther pride, and that was just something that I always felt within me. And when I put on the Panther uniform, it's not like I'm transformed to something else, but it's just the fact that I wanted my teammates to be proud of me, I wanted my coaches to be proud of me, and I wanted the Cumberland County community as a whole to be proud of me. So when I put on that uniform as a Cumberland County Panther, I did it with a sense of pride.
I want to thank Mr. Gene Norris for coming out for the Hall of Fame inductee interviews. It was an honor to interview you, sir. Thank you for your time.
I'm here with Hall of Fame inductee John Allen. What are your feelings about being inductee in the first Hall of Fame class at Cumberland County High School?
I think it's quite an honor to be in the first class of people inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame. There's a rich tradition here at Cumberland County of athletes and people that have passed through, and to be considered one that's one of the first people put in the Hall of Fame is quite an honor, and really excited and humbled by being chosen.
What is your most memorable moment about being a Panther athlete?
It's really hard to choose just one. There were so many things that stick out in my mind. Probably one of the most exciting was being part of a district championship team as a freshman. We came into the district tournament having lost 2 games to the team we were playing in the finals. It was so exciting. I remember I fouled out with less than a minute to go, and I didn't even realize it till after the game was over. It was so many people in the gym, so loud and so exciting, and that would probably be the one thing that was the most stuck out. The other thing, and I hate to mention too, but my senior year, winning a game in the regional tournament in overtime, that was quite an honor. And looking back, those wins, they mean a lot more to me now than all the individual stats that I attained. But those are 2 really great moments.
Did you have any role models that were coaches, teachers, or administrators at Cumberland County that you would like to thank?
It's hard to just mention a few. There were so many that had an impact on me while I was in high school. I played for 3 head coaches in 4 years: Tom Watson, Tim Bell, and David Wells. David Wells was probably really influential early because I played for him in middle school as well. And he also influenced me to get into coaching and teaching, and has probably impacted my career choices too.
Who influenced you along the way to your success as an athlete?
The number of people that influenced me is immeasurable. I feel like my success as an athlete, God blessed me with certain talents, but he also blessed me with a great support staff. And when I mean support staff, I mean my family, immediate and distant. I also mean the coaches that were around me, the opportunities that were given to me as an athlete. I would not have excelled as much if it hadn't been for those. My mom and dad always made sure I always had anything I needed. They made sure that I was where I needed to be and got the opportunities. My brother David was always there for me, always taking me places and always coming to watch me play. And my brother Danny worked hard with me to help me develop my skills. My sister Claudine She always sat back and watched me bask in the limelight, I guess, but she was always supportive and always done everything for me. My Uncle Leon, my cousin Dennis, made sure that I always challenged myself and worked hard. And also my cousin Marty Smith, I was lucky enough to get to play with him, and he always helped me get places I needed to be. That's just a few. I could name lots and lots and lots, but they're a result. I'm a result of what they put into me, and I thank God for them all the time.
In your opinion, what does it mean to be a Panther?
I think it's hard to define what it is to be a Panther. I know growing up, going to school at Cumberland County, I came to high school games when I was younger, and I watched those kids out on the floor play, and I thought, to have an opportunity to do that one day, to play in front of these fans, what an honor that would be. And then when I got that opportunity, I can remember how I felt before games, how nervous I was, how much I wanted to perform well. I knew most of the people in the stands, and I guess it added pressure to me. But it was an honor. It was a thrill. I can remember wearing my Letterman's jacket and how proud I was of it. In playing ball after high school, I can say that I never was as nervous for any kind of college game, even playing at UK in front of 25,000, as I was playing in a high school game here at Cumberland County. So it's an honor to be a Panther. It was an honor to be here, and I'm proud of everything that I've done while I was here.
I want to thank Mr. John Allen for coming out for the Hall of Fame inductee interviews. It was an honor to interview.
Thanks.
I'm here with Hall of Fame inductee Craig Coe. What are your feelings about being an inductee in the first Hall of Fame class at Cumberland County High School?
This has been a great honor for me. I feel, absolutely, great about being able to be an inductee in this Hall of Fame. Something I've wished that Cumberland County would have done a long time ago, and to actually be an inductee in it for the first time, first class, is pretty awesome.
What is your most memorable moment of being a Panther athlete?
Ooh, man, I guess it would be my sophomore year, first round of the region. We played in, I can't remember if it was one or two overtimes against Berrien County. Just playing with the guy that's going into, tonight with me as well as John Allen. We were able to beat Berrien County, and it was, as sophomore young, it was a pretty awesome feeling to be playing in Diddle and to do that. So I really enjoyed that, and it's a pretty big moment for me.
Did you have any role models that were coaches, teachers, or administrators at Cumberland County that you would like to thank?
Yeah, I would like to thank Coach Tommy Watson, because as a 8th grader, he's seen enough talent in me to put me on varsity. And then, of course, my freshman year, he's seen enough to start me. So I would like to, really thank him. And then, of course, Coach Wells, Coach Bale, and Coach Price. Like I said, especially Coach Price in track, something I never even imagined running was track. But when he come here, he got our track team to a different level, and allowed me to, pursue, a pretty good high school career in that. State. It was awesome. I liked it.
Who influenced you along the way to your success as an athlete?
It would be my mom and dad. They always told me to go out and play my hardest, do my best, and as long as I'd done that, everything would fall as it should be. So I really would like to thank them for influencing me to do my best in it, all the games and all the track meets that I was in.
In your opinion, what does it mean to be a Panther?
Being a Panther is it's awesome. Wearing the green, the white, it's the gold. It's a big honor to me. I've always enjoyed it, and it's even awesome now to even watch my daughter, be able to see her out there doing it as well. So it's pretty awesome to be a Panther.
I want to thank Mr. Craig Coe for coming out for the Hall of Fame inductee interviews. It was an honor to interview you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
We are here with Joyce Stover, wife, and Carol Sharp, daughter of Hall of Fame inductee Philip Stover. What are your feelings about Philip being an inductee in the first Hall of Fame class at Cumberland County?
I was married to Philip 61 years, and I think anyone who knew him knew that his main 3 loves in life were his Lord, his family, and sports. And sometimes we as the family didn't know whether we came in second or third. But he would have thought this was the ultimate honor that he could receive. So, as his family, we're very happy.
What was Philip's most memorable moment as a Cardinal?
Marrowbone and Burkesville were arch rivals in any sport they played. And I started to say that Philip's junior year, Burkesville had beaten Marrowbone a number of times and also in the district tournament. And they both went to the region. Burkesville as winner, Marrowbone as runner-up. And that memorable moment was when Marrowbone defeated Burkesville. That was probably his most memorable as a player. Thank you.
Who influenced Philip during his career, and is there anyone do you think he would like to thank?
His high school coach was Coach Cortez Butler, who came to us during the last part of Philip's career in high school. And I feel like he's the biggest influence. He was a very tough coach to play for. He had exacting standards, and I think that would be who he would thank if he were here.
Is there anything else you'd like to mention?
When you asked about Philip's most memorable moment, I was thinking of another rivalry. Marrowbone had a little softball team, and Unemployed had a very, very good softball team. So perhaps another high point in Philip's career was when he sponsored and played on the Marrowbone team that defeated the Unemployed team in, I think it was July of 1966. Now that was really a high point.
Okay, I would like to thank Miss Joyce Stover and Carol Sharp for coming out and representing Philip Stover. It was an honor to interview you guys.
Thank you, and on behalf of our family, we're humbled, we're honored that Philip has received this award. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Matthew McDonald, the grandson of Larry McDonald, here with my dad, Mark McDonald. What are your feelings about your father, Larry McDonald, being inducted into the first Hall of Fame class at Cumberland County High School?
On behalf of my mom, Wanda, my brother Steve, and our entire family, we are very honored for Dad to be chosen as one of the first inducted to the Cumberland County Hall of Fame. I know if he were here, he would be very honored.
What is your most memorable moment of your father being a Panther athlete?
I heard stories of Dad being a great basketball player for Cumberland County. In the mid-1950s, he had the school basketball single-game scoring record, which I believe was 45 points in a game.
Did your father have any role models that influenced him along the way to his success as an athlete?
Yes, I remember him quite often mentioning his high school coach, Lewis Williams, and his Tennessee Tech coach, John Odom. He later became a teacher at Cumberland County for 29 years, so I'm sure there are many other individuals that influenced him along the way.
In your opinion, what did it mean to your father to be a Panther?
He was always proud to be a Panther, which carried over to his 10-plus years as head coach. Cumberland County has a very rich athletic history, and I know he will be very thankful for this honor.
I'm here with Hall of Fame inductee Leon Smith. How you doing today, sir?
I can't complain.
All right, I'm going to ask you a couple questions about your career. What are your feelings about being an inductee in the first Hall of Fame class at Cumberland County High School?
I consider it a great honor. I think Cumberland County, it's about time that they did this because we've had some good athletes in the county, and almost every other school around have this these ceremonies and the inductees, and I just think it's a good idea, and I'm real proud to be in it.
Do you have any role models that were coaches, teachers, or administrators at Cumberland County that you would like to thank?
Yes, Coach Lewis Williams was my coach for 5 years, and he always made sure I had a good pair of tennis shoes. I was a country boy. We didn't have sidewalks to walk on, so we wore our shoes to school, to ball practice, to games, back home, hunting, fishing, and everything. And many a time my mama would have to call me in to get my shoes and scrape the cow poop off of my shoes and the mud before I played ball in them that night. But Coach Williams always made sure I had a good pair of shoes. And later, when I coached at Kettle, I tried to remember what he had done for me, and I tried to do the same thing for a bunch of my ball players. And I appreciate what he did for me.
Can you think of anyone else?
Yes, I'd like to thank the good Lord for giving me the ability to play high school and college basketball. Because without him, I wouldn't have been able to do anything. I'd probably be in jail now if I hadn't played basketball, because there wasn't a lot of other stuff to do. I'd like to thank my family also and all my friends.
Who influenced you along the way to your success as an athlete?
Well, of course, we always had college players that we would remember, and as well as other high school players around the country. But Coach Williams was the one that had the big influence. But the main thing, I guess, that caused me to go to college from here was after I graduated, I went to Indiana to try to get a job. I couldn't get one, and my brother-in-law wanted to go squirrel hunting. I didn't have a license. He said, "There's no game wardens up here." But I killed 6 squirrels. I got back to the vehicle. The game warden sitting there, so he gave me a big ticket, and I didn't have any money to pay the fine. So I came back home, and Coach Diddle had told the coach at Lindsey Wilson about me, and so he was down here looking for me and told my sister I'd get a full scholarship for one to come up there. So that's what got me started on above high school. But I'll never forget the first thing the coach said to me. He had never seen me. And when I went in, first thing he said to me, said, "Oh, you're not near as big as I thought you was going to be. So you got to take what you got."
What are some changes in basketball since the year of 51?
Well, there's been a lot of changes since I first started. I guess, of course, the big one is the three-point shot. A lot of the guys that played back then, where you only had, you hit an outside shot, you only got 2 points. If they could have got 3 like they can now, they would have had a whole lot more points. Another one is the foul line. If you're shooting a foul shot back then, you could, as soon as you shot, you could move. But then this one guy that was in college that could jump so good, he would take a run and shoot, and he would jump before the foul line. This is when he was shooting a foul shot. And dunk the ball, and he was shooting 100%. He never missed one. Another one was the keyhole. The three-point, where the three-point circle is, it was in like a keyhole. It was only about 5 feet wide, so the big boys could stand right at the edge of it and reach and dunk the ball easily, so they widened it so that you only had 3 seconds to stay in there. Another one is the numbers on your jersey. Back then, you could have 44, 88, 73. They passed a law now that you can only have a number 55 or lower, so a referee with one hand can give the number who fouled. And also back then, when you fouled, you had to hold your hand up. If you didn't get a technical foul, if you fouled, you had to hold your hand up. But now some do and some don't.
What are some high points in your career, and what are some low points?
Okay, of course, the high point would be the year in 1954, 55, when we went undefeated up until the district tournament, or regional tournament, I mean. And we were rated in the top 20 all year and in the top 10 part of the year, and I don't think any other teams from here has ever done that before. But that was one of the big high points. Another high point in my career was in 1955, 56. I was elected to the Kentucky All-Stars and got to play with them. And I guess the third one was when I was in college in a tournament, Western Carolina tournament. I had 48 points and 48 rebounds in the tournament. Out of the 48 guys that was picked or that was playing, they picked 5 for an all-tournament team, and I was unanimous choice on that. And that was another highlight.
All right, what are some other low points?
Okay, the low point, I can easily tell you what that was. That's when we got beat our 31st game. We had beaten Glasgow over at our home game, which we had to play on Maribone Gym. We had beaten them 31 points. We played them in the semifinals of the regional tournament. And at the end of the first game, it was tied. We went in overtime, it was tied. Went in the second overtime, it was tied. And the referee said, I've never seen them do this before or since. they said, this could go on all night. We're going to go into sudden death. The first 2 points wins. I'd never seen them do that before. But I jumped center, and I got the tip. We got the ball, went down, and we missed the shot. I got the rebound, passed out, missed the shot. They got the rebound, came down the court. I was the first one down the court, and I was standing there, and this little guard came down the foul line, and I saw the ball go over my head, and I knew it was going in, and it did. And that was a heartbreaker. I didn't go to school for 3 weeks after that. It was just like end of time, it doesn't come. I mean, it absolutely killed us. We never got over that. 3 of the guys that played on that team, Larry McDonald, Bobby Stalkup, and Mike Irby, are passed away. Sherman McCoy and I are the only ones left. And I always prided myself being able to dunk a basketball, easily dunk a basketball. But now, since old age has caught up with me, I'd have to get a ladder to touch the bottom of the net. This old thing about the golden years and how good old age is, old age sucks.
I want to thank Mr. Leon Smith for coming out for the Hall of Fame inductee interviews. It was an honor to interview you, sir.
Well, thank you. I think you've got a good group doing it. Too bad you didn't have a better person to interview, but y'all did a super job.
I appreciate it, sir.
Hello, my name is Ernestine Brewer, formerly Ernestine Carter. Graduated from Cumberland County High School, June 1981. I feel blessed and honored to be inducted into the first Hall of Fame class at Cumberland County High School. It's a good feeling, and like I said, I feel honored and blessed. And I thank those who voted and felt like I should be honored. I think that the most event that takes place in my mind, the most memorable event would be beating Clinton County High School on their home court and seeing how excited Coach Watson was to beat Clinton County High School. Those people who were mentors or people who I looked up to during my time at Cumberland County High School and who played a part in me being able to further my career and be successful and be where I am today. At the high school, I would have to thank, first of all, Coach Tom Watson, who really worked hard with me. He took the time to spend with me to help me become the player that I did and become, and also he helped me have a work ethic that benefited me when I got to college at Campbellsville College, which is now Campbellsville University. Also, I would have to say Coach Bradford, Mr. Frederick, one of my favorite teachers, and Mr. Parrish, and also Don Shearer, who I fondly known him as Donut. He was the bus driver for the boys basketball team, but he was very, very supportive of me. And even after I left high school and went to Campbellsville College to play, I would look up and see him and Daryl Young in the stands supporting me. And those are times that I'll never forget, and I appreciate all that support. Who contributed to my success, or who was I influenced by? I would have to say Coach Watson, because like I said, he put a lot of time in me being able to play, because I was new to the game, and he did a lot for me as far as giving me the skills. that I needed. And also Dr. J. I loved Dr. J, Julius Irving. And when I think of the Panthers, what Panthers means to me is pride and hard work. Because Coach Watson definitely taught hard work. And it made a big difference in my life. And like I said, it made the next level of basketball a lot easier for me. So once again, this is Ernestine Brewer.